and welcome to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman, and you may have heard that it takes more muscles in your face to frown rather than smile, and some of us may be a little self-conscious about smiling because we believe we don't have that perfect smile. But in order to have a perfect smile, you must have the proper dental care. So we are joined with Team Smile's very own Dr. William Busch, who is going to tell us how to properly care for our teeth and create that perfect smile. Dr. Busch, welcome.
Nice to meet you.
And thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So our viewers may be wondering, what is Team Smile? When was this started and what do they do? So can you tell us a bit of background information about that and how you got started with Team Smile?
Sure. 10 years ago, this year's our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2006, 2007, we started Team Smile, which is a nonprofit for children, which helps get children involved in their oral health and also try to fix the things that may be broken.
Right.
But we use the power of professional sports to get the kids excited about their smile.
Right.
So we get the local dentist all together and the hygienist, dental assistant, students, and we track all our dental equipment out to Arrowhead Stadium, Kauffman Stadium, and then now Sporting Stadium. Well, it's now Children's Mercy. And we bring out all our equipment the night before. We set it up, and it's kind of the equivalent of about 5 to 6 dental treatment offices, so 26 to 30 chairs. And the kids all come out for the day, and we do digital exams, and we take x-rays, and then we find out what their needs are, so the kids are getting full treatment. They get x-rays taken of their teeth, and then any needed treatment that they have, they get done at the sporting park or at the stadium. Okay. Meanwhile, we've got a DJ entertaining the kids during the event.
Oh, wow.
We've got athletes that come in and sign autographs for the kids. The cheerleaders come, the mascots there. So it's kind of like a big dental tail.
Right, exactly.
And we found that if you get the kids excited about their mouths and just not the average dental experience, it's all about the experience. The kids will remember it for quite a long time.
Exactly.
So that's kind of what Team Smile is.
All right, well, thank you. Okay, so I know a lot of people, or some people, may go to the doctor for their regular checkups for their body and kind of ignoring going to the dentist. So why is oral health so important, especially when dealing with overall health?
Well, we say the mouth's kind of the window to the body. And in order to have a healthy body, you have to have a healthy mouth.
Right.
And if you think about it, it's your mouth from the first breath to the last
Exactly.
breath. It begins there. So the mouth is connected, kind of the old ham bone's connected to the thigh bone.
Yeah.
So the mouth connected to the rest of the body is systemically connected to where it affects your bloodstream. If there's bacteria that's in your mouth and it's grown out of control, it gets into your bloodstream, so infection from your mouth can spread to other parts of the body. So including heart disease, respiratory problems, asthma. Another thing that's in the news more currently is sleep apnea.
I'm not seeing that.
People aren't getting enough sleep in their lives and they don't know why.
Right.
And many times it's because when they go to sleep, their jaw gets pushed forward and the airway gets cut off, so they wake up 40 or 50, 60, 70 times a night. And they don't realize it because they wake up in the morning tired, but they're waking up constantly. So the dentist is getting involved in helping create an appliance that they can wear in their mouth that keeps their jaw forward, that prevents them from needing a big CPAP, they call a CPAP device, where they put this big mask over your face.
Oh, wow.
Force air down your throat all night to keep the airway open.
Oh. Does it hurt when they have that on their mouth?
I think with the CPAP device, it's not comfortable, so a lot of patients just give up on it, and they don't realize that the dentist, the dental professional, can, from a very simple impression of their teeth, they can create this device that's very small, fits in their mouth, and they can go to sleep with it. And then the results are incredible because they've got all this energy.
You're right.
And they don't blame it on work or stress. They
Exactly.
now know it's probably because they're waking up in the middle of the night.
All right. Okay, so what are some key things we can do to, advance our oral health? We know brushing our teeth, but what else is there we can do?
We try to get the message to the kids that it's 2 times 2 minutes a day, so brush at least twice and 2 times 2 minutes, and then also flossing once a day is very important. Flossing helps prevent pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
Going back to how is the mouth?
It's how it's all connected.
So just flossing once a day helps with that. And then if you can, come in to see the dentist every 6 months. and we're trying to get Team Smile to get in the minds and the hearts of these kids young. So I think coming in every 6 months, brushing and flossing, and then just keep up with those things that can really make a big difference in your overall outcome. We always say the smile is, is very important.
Exactly.
Good job meeting that special person.
Exactly.
And you don't realize it until something happens. We do digital impressions now, so you don't have to put goop in your mouth.
Oh,
you do
wow.
an impression. The camera takes pictures of your teeth. So it's not a scary place. I'm just letting everybody know. The dentist isn't a scary place anymore.
Right. Okay, so you said children are supposed to floss too. What age should they start flossing?
As soon as they get their teeth.
Okay.
So you can get it at the pharmacy. They make little flossing devices. We have devices called gum chucks. So they look like little karate, and they can use these little sticks, and they can get in between their teeth. And I think they may not do it perfectly. They need their parents to help a little bit. But once they get in that habit, they're not going to forget. Because I think a lot of times when our parents are just lucky to help them with the toothbrush, and throw all the other stuff on top of it, it doesn't get quite done.
All right. Okay, so we know that they can start flossing as soon as they get their teeth, but when should parents take their child to their first dental checkup? And you said they go every 6 months, but when should they first go?
Usually the American Dental Association recommends 1 year old.
Okay.
I think typically in our practice we see them about 2.5 years old. They come in with their parent. We call it kind of a happy visit, where we can kind of count the teeth. They can even sit on the parent's lap when they're getting their exam done. But I think the earlier the better, so that they don't realize that it's a scary
place, right?
And then their friends don't, scary stories that aren't true.
Exactly.
But yeah, about 2.5 is kind of the average.
Okay. And also for the parents that may be viewing it at home, how can they get their child excited about brushing their teeth? Because, sometimes to get our children to do the healthier things, it could be a little bit of a task. So are there any creative ways you would say to get them excited about brushing their teeth?
You know what? There's a lot of ways. There's some free apps. So if a parent has a cell phone or a smartphone, most of us have those. There's some downloadable apps that have games for kids to play that track their timing as they brush. There are newer toothbrushes that aren't expensive that you can pick up at the pharmacies that is mechanical or battery operated. So the kids get a different way to brush their teeth.
Right.
It's fun. I suggest for the parents to change up their toothpaste. Sometimes it's the taste of the toothpaste, and they don't realize that they don't mind brushing, but it's the taste. But they don't tell their parent they don't like that taste. So switching up on the taste, the apps that are available. If you go out to the American Dental Association's website, it's ada.org. Or even in Kansas City, our local dental society has different games and apps on the phone. Okay. And getting the kids involved, again, at an early age is, I think, the key.
All right. So we know we've been brushed our teeth, we floss. What's a proper way to store our toothbrushes? We know there's things we can put on the counter. How should we properly store these?
The best way is to pick up just a little cover for your toothbrush. You can get that. It just snaps over your bristles. Change out your toothbrush once every 3 months. When the bristles start bending over the sides and they look like a poodle, throw them out.
Right.
You can't part with their toothbrush. But about every 3 months, you change that out. If you see the dentist, your dentist is most likely going to give you a toothbrush to replace.
Right.
Another tip is definitely use a soft brush. And I didn't believe this before I went to dental school, but you can actually brush too hard and brush your enamel off over time.
Wow.
So a medium or hard brush is not good. If you look at the toothbrush, it says soft, medium, or hard. Always buy the soft. And then just don't brush too hard. Let the brush do the work. Because I've had some patients that have brushed
it all off.
So don't stay in that one spot. Make sure you work it around.
Right. So basically, do it 2 times a day. You said 2 minutes.
2 minutes, 2 times.
All right, and just don't brush too hard.
Don't brush too hard. And there's also a fun website, and it's the Ad Council. You're probably familiar with them. They have some really fun commercials for kids to watch about brushing 2 minutes 2 times a day. So if you go to the Ad Council's website and look up, I'd probably Google Ad Council toothpaste or toothbrush.
Okay.
They've got some fun commercials for the kids to watch.
All right. Well, we're going to just pause for a few seconds, and we're going to put some information on the screen for our viewers at home. If you would like to give more information about Team Smile, you can give them a call at 816 809-6220 or visit the website located on the screen at teamsmile.org. All right, so sometimes when we hear the word fluoride, we usually tie that in with dental. So what is fluoride and why is it important to dental health?
Sure, it's a mineral.
Okay.
And we've worked it into toothpaste, but it mimics tooth structure so well it gets incorporated into the tooth itself, which makes it strong and resistant to breakdown. Mm-hmm. All day long we subject our mouth to acids, either from soft drinks, whether they're sugared soft drinks or diet soft drinks. And those acids make an environment that for the bacteria that live in our mouth to produce more acid, and that's what breaks down teeth. So in your mouth, it's constantly breaking down and building back up from the different things. So chewing gum that's sugarless in between meals is a good idea because that stimulates the saliva. Mm-hmm. And then also to be able to not graze. A lot of us have such busy lifestyles. Mm-hmm. We're eating small meals, little things all day long, and that doesn't give our mouths enough time to build the saliva back up to wash it away. So mm-hmm. I find with patients that graze all day long that have some issues with tooth decay. The keys to a healthy mouth are the way your teeth fit together, mm-hmm. we call occlusion, mm-hmm. your teeth so that they remain healthy and decay-free, mm-hmm. and then also your gums, which are the foundation for the teeth so they don't get loose.
Right. And you said gum diseases. What are some type of gum diseases that are out there, and what are some of the main ones you see?
Sure. The first stage that some people can encounter is gingivitis, mm-hmm. which is basically inflammation of the gums, and you have it if your gums bleed. Okay. I always tell my patients when they brush their hair, their heads don't bleed. When they brush their teeth, their gums shouldn't bleed.
Right.
Bleeding is always a sign of infection, so if you have that, make sure you visit your dentist because there's something else, the plaque building up to where the toothbrush isn't doing it. Mm-hmm. It's professional help. And then the second stage is called periodontal disease, mm-hmm. and that's gum disease but with bone loss. Wow. So if you start losing your bone because of the buildup that's underneath your gum and your toothbrush doesn't get down that far, it's painless, mm-hmm. and before you know it, your teeth get loose and they can fall out and you're not having any pain at all. So that's the kind of the scary part about dental disease. Yeah. It doesn't have to hurt to be there.
Right.
Most of the patients that have been diagnosed with gum disease or periodontal disease, mm-hmm. with bone loss typically come in more than the 6-month visits. Mm-hmm. Usually come every 3 to 4 or 3 or 4 times a year to get their teeth cleaned. But the newer thinking, there are some treatments that are coming out where mm-hmm. there's DNA testing in the mouth, and there's certain treatments that we can do that might be able to help reverse it. So there's a lot of hope. Right.
Okay, so for some who may be questioning, why do we have to care for our primary teeth when they're going to be replaced with permanent teeth? Why is it so important to even care for those?
Well, I always tell the kids that their baby teeth, right. primary teeth, are their practice teeth. Okay. So if something happens to them, that's okay. We still got our next set to come in. Right. So it gets them kind of into thinking that it's okay to kind of do the best that they can. Mm-hmm. But the primary teeth set the stage for when the permanent teeth come in. So they're kind of, if it's a neighborhood, you've got little houses, and then the houses grow up to be big houses. Mm-hmm. They set the foundation for the other teeth to come in. Right. So it helps form the lips, and it also forms the gum and your profile. So if you can think of when Granny takes her teeth out, if she's unfortunate to have dentistry, mm-hmm. what happens, Right. It collapses. Right. So having the primary teeth set the stage for when the adults come in, then your face forms, your teeth form, the bone forms, and everything looks perfect.
All right, so for our viewers at home, if you would like to gain more information from Team Smile, or you would like to take a visit yourself, you can give them a call at 816-809-6220, or again, visit that website located on the screen at teamsmile.org. All right, so in closing, does your organization accept volunteers, or how can someone get involved?
The best way for volunteers is to go to our website, mm-hmm. and then they can ask questions and find out if there's an event near them. And then if they have anybody that is in need of dental work that would like to have it taken care of, complimentary of our local dental mm-hmm. dentists and hygienists, they can ask for that too.
All right. Well, Dr. William Busch, thank you for joining us. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Joy in Our Town, TBN, St. Joseph, Kansas City. I am your host, Lindsay Hardiman, and happy cleaning.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Warren with Joy in Our Town. Welcome to the show today. Our special guest is from the St. Joseph Police Department, Chief Chris Connally. We're going to ask him all the questions about how he keeps our community safe and how we make this an all-American city. Hang on to your seat. You're in for a treat. Chief Connally, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me here.
Well, it's good to have you here.
It's a great opportunity.
Well, good deal. Well, you're no novice at this now. You've been in St. Joseph for just a little while. How long?
I've been here as the Chief of Police for 9 years, and I have a law enforcement career that actually had just a little over 30 years in the law enforcement field now.
Fantastic. You know, you've had the benefit of working in other communities. How does St. Joseph fare with what's going on around the world?
Well, you know what? I think we have a wonderful community here, and we have a lot of strengths in our community. When I look at us and I look at other similar cities, I see our citizens really stepping up to the plate.
What is the overall mission for some people that don't know? You know, little kids see the police and say the policeman is your friend. As we get older, depending upon if you're driving too fast or, you know, at the wrong place or the right place, what is your overall goal and mission from your perspective?
You know, it's really all about providing public safety services in partnership with the community. It's really important that what we do is protect the community, and we do that by working with the community.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times when there is a crime that's been committed, we see the tip hotline that flashes across the screen, and we see the news on the front paper. And how are we doing as far as civic engagement and having the citizens help with whether it's neighborhood watches or help you solve those crimes?
Well, you know, we're very fortunate, and I go to all the TIPS hotline meetings and Crime Stoppers. And interesting that as many tips as we get in on Crime Stoppers, most people don't call back for any type of reward. They're just doing it because they want to help. They want to help make St. Joseph a better place. You know, we have some very strong neighborhoods and strong community organizations, and we continue to move forward with supporting our neighborhood watch. As a matter of fact, I attended a watch meeting last night and had a bunch of citizens that are willing to come out in the cold and want to talk and want to do things about making their neighborhoods better.
How large is the police force? And tell us a little bit about some of the challenges we have as our city grows to a population of 77,000 people now.
Well, we are 122 commissioned officers. And as a matter of fact, that is 3 of them we hired this week. So they'll be in training for classroom environment for 6 weeks and then in field training for about 4 months after that. But, you know, it's been a challenge. You know, crime this last year, and this is the time of year where we start to look at crime statistics, and because people like to compare calendar year to calendar year. And whenever I talk about that, we got to remember that whether a crime's up or down, if you're the person that was a victim of a crime, and I talk about something being down, that still doesn't make you feel very good. Mm-hmm. And we got to be sensitive to that. But as I look at the numbers for this last year, crime was down a little bit. It was mixed numbers. There are over 250 less crimes reported to the police than the previous year. And there's some areas that are very encouraging and some maybe not so. Mm-hmm. One of the most encouraging areas is we had under 700 burglaries this year. And while to some folks that may sound like a lot, if you go back 3 years, we had 980 some burglaries.
Oh my.
So this is the second year in the row that we've seen a really significant decrease. And that's a big deal for the homeowner and for people feeling safe and secure in their homes. And I mean, it's a quality of life issue. So we've seen those decreases. Some areas we've seen a slight increase. We saw a decrease in aggravated assault, but simple assaults, we saw an increase. And your aggravated assaults are your ones where someone's seriously injured. So that's great to see that decrease. Mm-hmm. We still don't want to see the other increases. We saw a slight increase in theft. However, even that, you got to look beyond the numbers. Mm-hmm. Because what we've seen is more of our thefts were shoplifting, significantly more shoplifting, and less was from our neighborhoods, which, you know, any increase isn't good, and you still have a victim. But that tells you something about the livability in our communities. And I'd love to get here and say, you know, some of those decreases that we did all, but we didn't. Mm-hmm. It comes from any success we have comes with support from the community and comes from members of our community working with us.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're looking at the whole gamut of crime, whether it's, drug crime, burglaries, aggravated assaults, domestic violence, substance abuse, what are some of the pressing issues right now in Buchanan County?
Well, in Buchanan County, on the police end, we've seen a little bit of an uptick on robberies. Not huge different from last year, but it's still a trend that's gone on a couple of years. And our auto thefts have trended back up. A lot of times, some of these crimes are related to substance abuse issues or funding substance abuse issues. And so one of the things that's important to us is that the services in the community are strong, because if we can solve some of those root issues that contribute to the crime, that helps reduce the workload for us. Sometimes we talk about the police workload. Oftentimes we may restrict ourselves to crime. However, that isn't the only thing that affects our workload. For example, mental health issues. We've seen a lot of that on the forefront lately, and we've seen a significant increase in our officers dealing with people that are in crisis. We've tried to address that in a number of ways. All of our officers have been trained in mental health first aid. We have a crisis intervention team, and those officers have even more advanced training. And part of that is so that, when we have somebody with a mental health issue, a lot of times in the past, they've ended up in the criminal justice system. And anytime we can intervene and get them the help they need, instead of having them come into the criminal justice system, that's a big help. And unfortunately, we get a lot of calls of folks that either want to commit suicide or are attempting, and it's just a sad thing. So we need to position ourselves to get them the help that they need.
Chief Connally, a lot of times when we dial 911, we don't realize how the calls are routed and what department handles that. Can you explain the relationship just to the common citizen with the Sheriff's Department, Drug Strike Force, Juvenile Department? There's a lot of different places that actually handle when the calls come through.
Great question. And the calls come in through one 911 center, and that 911 center is at the St. Joseph Police Department. And our folks dispatch for the St. Joseph Fire Department, Rural Fire Department, the Sheriff's Department. We supply communications services through the county to juvenile. And of course, the Drug Strike Force is part of the Sheriff's Department. So those calls come in, and kind of the way it works is the police department has the primary jurisdiction in the city, and the Sheriff's Department, along with civil issues, serving civil papers, security at the courts, the jail, they police in the rural areas. And the Drug Strike Force, which is part of the Sheriff's Department, they work with us, and they take care of the whole community as far as some of the drug enforcement. And then the juvenile office is another one of those that works with everybody. We rely heavily on them in issues when we do deal with juveniles, and partly because they have that expertise in dealing with youngsters and providing them with some of the other services and alternatives to just incarceration. And you have to understand, it's really not our goal just to put everyone in jail. You watch TV and it's like, police are going to go put them in jail. We're more concerned about ending that type of behavior. So, some of these programs that come out, whether it's drug court, there's some that are looking at DWI courts, those things that focus on reducing recidivism are some of the strategies that currently pose a really great potential to improving the community and decreasing crime, because unfortunately, a lot of our crime are repeat offenders.
If you're just now tuning in, our special guest is Chief Chris Connally. He is the chief with the St. Joseph Police Department and has been here for a number of years. If you would like to weigh in on any of the issues we're talking about, you can call the Citizens Line. We'll put it up there. Also, if you would like to be a part of solving crime in our community, there is a TIPS hotline that is totally anonymous, and the information's there on the screen. They also have a wonderful website that will help you prevent crime or prevent yourself from being a victim, and that is www.stjoepd.info. That's stjoepd.info. The TIPS hotline is simply 816-238-TIPS, and there is also a number there, 271-4777, just for general information. So without the hardcore stats right in front of you, do you believe in our community that most of the crimes are performed by residents or non-residents?
Most of them, yeah, and you're talking about over 10,000 crimes committed in our community each year. And you know, some of those are more serious than others, ranging from property damage to your significant assaults. Most of them are from within our community, although we do have some serious crimes and some crime issues that extend beyond our community. And the root of some of that crime extends from beyond the community coming in. You know, when it comes to the drug trade, some of that comes in from outside, and then sometimes we'll get people from outside that feel like, well, if they come up to St. Joe, we may not know who they are, or try to make it a little more difficult for us to solve the crime. You know, fortunately, that does make it more challenging at times, but fortunately we have great relationships with the Highway Patrol, Platte County Sheriff's Department, Kansas City, Missouri Police Department, and there's great communication there. But that does pose a challenge. And then some of the challenges we have really some good solid ordinances in place to help prevent people from marketing what they might steal, so that we can track people down. However, at the same time, sometimes that will just drive them to try to market it in another state. So that being close to a state line can sometimes create a challenge as well.
Do we need more neighborhood watch groups? Do we need more concerned citizens that are actually being proactive?
We love more neighborhood watch groups. We love concerned citizens, and something that we sometimes find is a citizen that's a little reluctant. They just say, well, you know, that person was a little bit suspicious. I didn't want to bother you. You're doing important things. Or they'll say, you know, I called last time, and by the time y'all got there, you know, they were long gone. And those things do happen. However, we don't want that to deter someone from calling the police, because that lets the officer know, you know, that we got that call. Okay, yeah, it's clear. We now know that, okay, there's something going on there. So when that officer isn't tied up on the call next time, he's either close to the area and may be there real quickly, or he or she has the opportunity to be more proactive. Say, you know, I remember we've got a few calls about someone suspicious in that area, and I've seen some reports on that, so I'm going to patrol that area and kind of keep an eye out. So that's very important. Neighborhood watches, we have some strong neighborhood watches, and you mentioned our website. You can go to our website and go to our crime prevention website. You can pull up a map of the neighborhood watches. You can find the one that's closest to you. If you're interested in creating a neighborhood watch, we will come in and help you put that together and work with you on programs, whether it's programs with the police department or programs with other city agencies. We'll help you reach out to them. We found that sometimes we'll get groups together and they'll come together because there's a problem, but when that problem goes away, sometimes they'll kind of pull back apart. And that you know, we can help bring other things to keep people's interest. So it doesn't have to be about police. It's about community coming together.
That is wonderful. Again, you can go to the website, as Chief Connally told us about. It's stjoepd.info. There's a TIPS hotline that's on the screen, 238-TIPS. There's an informational number. You can also register for the NIXL program, which will give you Amber Alerts, traffic incidents, elder alerts, crime alerts, and much more. And we're just going to have you come back for another show.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Well, thank you for being here, Chief.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the job that you do.
Well, thank you for your support.
You're welcome. We want to thank each of you for watching TBN's Joy in Our Town. I'm Kimberly Warren. Have a wonderful week.
This program has been sponsored by the Trinity Broadcasting Network and made possible by your telethon dollars. Your continual support can keep Joy in Our Town brought to your home every day. So write Joy in Our Town, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711.